announcement. Today's the day we're finding out who are the winners for Women's Prize 2025. Hello, amazing humans on the net. I feel like I have to start with apologies for my crazy hair. It is a big headache today. Not intentionally. You can blame my teenage daughter who stole my hair straightener. I have just spent 10 minutes frantically looking for it with no luck, so yes, she's in trouble when she gets home. Never mind about me, today's not about me, today is about the wonderful female writers and Women's Prize. I am especially excited because this is the first time that I have read all of the books on the shortlist for fiction. Whether I'll do it again, there's a big question mark there, because overall I think I was slightly underwhelmed by this year's fiction, especially because I was so excited about reading the shortlist this year. Having nominated Brotherless Night, which is the book that won 2024 Fiction Award as the best book I read last year. It's probably one of the best books I have ever read, and so I was so excited, but actually I don't feel like any of the books on the shortlist this year were as good as the winner from last year. And by the way, apologies for the beeping sound, and that's because I have my laptop here with me, because what I'm planning on doing is to film a live reaction as soon as the awards are announced. It is now 5:55 p.m. I think I'm all set up, so what I might do is to have a quick chat summarizing the 6 books on the fiction list, and if you want in-depth review, I have done that in a separate video, which I will very happily link above. But here I thought it would be good just to run through them again and re-rank them, because my ranking has changed slightly. It's been now, what, 2 months since I've read all these books, so I have had the opportunity to reflect on these books a bit more and see if some of the characters stayed with me a bit longer than maybe I originally anticipated. I have no idea how, but a mosquito got in here, so we have been battling with each other for the last couple of minutes. Okay, I've got my notes, I've got my tea. Let's chat about the shortlist, and then we'll watch the announcement, and then we'll wrap up the video with a live reaction. Let's see how it goes. First of all, I want to say that having looked on YouTube here for other people's reviews, it seems like non-fiction has been much stronger shortlist this year, and there is one YouTuber in particular who got me very excited about the non-fiction. I will link her channel below, and I am very likely to be reading the non-fiction shortlist in my own time, specifically the memoir. I don't remember the title, but it's about the person I have known nothing about. However, apparently it's beautifully written, so I'm up for that. And also the other book that intrigued me is Raising Hair, so stay tuned for that. Also, I wanted to mention the long list, because I didn't read the whole long list, but I did read 3 books, and that was Nesting, Crooked Seeds and Amma. And especially Nesting and Crooked Seeds, I think deserved to be in the shortlist. In my opinion, I preferred those 2 books over, for example, the Persians or Good Girl. I think the writing in those 2 books was so much more gripping, and you were able to connect with the characters so much more. But hey, I'm not the judge on the Women's Prize for Fiction panel, and all I can say is just express my own tastes. I know you viewers will have your own tastes as well. I know there is also one in particular book that is quite divisive. We'll get to it in a minute, but yes, definitely, if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend Nesting. It's a book that you might not be able to put down because, as I've mentioned in my review, it reads like a thriller even though it's not a thriller. And then Crooked Seeds, very, very short novel that manages to pack in so much commentary on so many different topics. I also read Amma, and it is a very, very good novel as well, but I was slightly disappointed by the second half. The first half was extremely engaging and very strong, but something happened to the other half. This is why I'm emphasizing the first two novels. I haven't read any other novels. If you have read any other novels on the long list, do let me know. Sorry, just need to check the time. It's 6:04. Okay. I think I'll need to keep checking because there's a huge danger I will just keep blabbing away and I will miss the announcement. So if you've watched my original review of the shortlist, you know that I have put Good Girl in number 6 at the very bottom. And that book was followed by The Persians. Now, oh, the mosquito is back. I didn't get him. To be continued. Where was I? Good Girl. Yes. So I know this book is liked by many. It just wasn't for me. I absolutely loved the idea behind this book. You know, this whole concept of tracing how the second generation immigrants are dealing with belonging or lack of belonging, culture, guilt, religion, all of that. However, I feel like the delivery, well, didn't quite deliver there for me. However, because the writing was so good, I feel like I should probably switch the places with the Persians, and perhaps the Persians should be in the last place, just because there was no way I was able to connect with these crazy rich characters, and the way the story was put together was a bit messy. The whole kaleidoscope of different characters was so mixed up that it was really hard to follow. Then on the 4th place, fundamentally remains as it was. Highly entertaining, very witty book with a very kind of direct and sometimes vulgar sense of humor, so that may not be for everyone. Nevertheless, like I said, extremely entertaining. I think the author there has a lot of potential, but I have lost my interest towards the end of the book and got very annoyed by the main character. Now, this book may win the competition, and I could totally see why it would win, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. It's just, it's not the type of book that I normally tend to enjoy. Let's see. Then in 3rd place, I have put Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout. I really enjoy this book. I really enjoy Elizabeth Strout's writing. It's very sophisticated, very quiet, very poignant. Was it extraordinary? I don't know. I haven't found myself thinking about this book as much as I was thinking about My Name is Lucy Barton, which was the first book in the series. And actually I was a little bit irritated by the fact that I did end up reading this book because it was on the shortlist, and the recommendation was that even though there are Elizabeth Strout's reoccurring characters in that book, there are no spoilers. Well, that's not true, because if you take Lucy Barton or even her husband, there are a few things we're finding out from Tell Me Everything about these key characters that have happened to them clearly in these other books that are in between in a series, or, you know, Whether it's a series or not, that's up for a debate. And because of that, I was a little bit disappointed. It's a lesson learned. I won't trust the descriptions next time. And, you know, I have been hunting for these other books of Elizabeth Strout. I brought them here in second-hand bookstores very successfully because I've got all three. I've got William, Lucy by the Sea and Anything is Possible, and I was waiting to read them, and then unfortunately I read Tell Me Everything, so I kind of now know what happens in these books, and I'm not sure if I'll get to them. We'll see. Having said that, if Tell Me Everything wins, I won't be disappointed. I think Elizabeth Strout and her writing certainly deserves that type of award. Whether it's a missed opportunity, because actually there are lots of other writers out there who are much less established and could do with a bit more spotlight, that's another question. I guess it depends if we look at Women's Prize for Fiction as an award that is supposed to be promoting lesser known authors, or, you know, is it supposed to be awarding the best female writing there is in English language? So if we think it's the latter, then definitely Elizabeth Strout's Tell Me Everything can be potentially the winning book. Now, let's talk about for a second, well, for a few minutes, it's 6:15, about All Fours, which I have a copy of. This is the only book that I have a copy of because it was gifted to me by my friend, and all the other shortlisted books I either read on Kindle or I listened to, I borrowed from a library. So this book I ranked as second in my list, and I fully realize this is a highly divisive book. Loads of people don't like it. Lots of people who don't like it are actually women who are supposed to be the target audience for this book. So women in their 40s, late 40s, early 50s, maybe going through some premenopausal changes. And I would like to take a minute to explain why I think this is a great book. I look at this book not through sort of a lens of, oh, can I connect with this character? Because I probably can't if we trying to connect with a character on the sort of very basic level in terms of what she's doing. Would I ever envisage myself doing that? Would I ever envisage myself wanting to do that? Probably not. The way I look at this book is through the lens of a woman who desperately tries to reinvent herself in the world that for centuries has been telling us women how to be, how to act, what's valued and what's not valued in terms of how we behave, what we want. And yes, this book is a little bit wacky, little bit out there, but I think that's the whole point. This is how I interpret it anyway. For me, Miranda July takes this concept that we as women have been conditioned for so long by very much a society that's been built based on rules built by, well, men. And so in this world built by men, we women have never actually even gotten a chance to stop and ask ourselves a question, what it is that we really want. Like, really. We have been so conditioned to service the needs of others that question is not even asked. And for that, I love Miranda July and I appreciate what she was trying to do. If this book wins, I would be surprised because it's such a divisive book. I think it would take some explaining. On the other hand, maybe it's a sign of hope if it wins. Now, I said in my original video that I think the book that is going to win is actually going to be the Safekeep. Fantastic book, I highly recommend it. I think it already received so much exposure. Everyone has heard about this book. I do feel it deserves the hype. It is beautifully written in this very lyrical style. There is a great tension building, great character development. The only reason why I wasn't so impressed with this book is because I guessed where it was going, and I guessed the big reveal that happens in the second half of the book very early on in the process. So because of that, it lost a little bit of magic on me. But for the people who have been reading it and didn't know where it was going, all of these readers, from what I understand, have found this book absolutely amazing. So we'll see. I think I'm sticking to my original prediction. I think it is going to be the Safekeep. I think it was longlisted for the Booker Prize, wasn't it? And it didn't win. So maybe it would be great if it did win. I'd be also happy with this book. I'll be happy with Tell Me Everything. You can completely see fundamentally win. If, for example, the Persians or Good Girl wins, then I'll probably be speechless, which won't make for very exciting live reaction. Okay, let me see if I am on the right page on the internet to make sure that we can follow the announcement. I think it's just about to start. 15 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to the 2025 Women's Prize for Fiction and Women's Prize for Non-Fiction.
Okay, right now we're just watching the announcement of the non-fiction winner, and right after they will announce the fiction winner. Oh, it's the story of a heart. Oh, she's giving everyone hugs. Wow. I haven't read the book, but I had tears in my eyes. Definitely reading it. If you get the opportunity to listen to the non-fiction winner's speech, please do.
Oh my God, thank you. Congratulations to Rachel Clark. And now...
This is it.
I'm delighted to announce that the 2025 Women's Prize for Fiction goes to Safekeep.
Oh my goodness! I cannot believe that I totally guessed it. Oh, so well deserved. Oh, the author's crying as well. Wow. What a wonderful, wonderful ceremony, and I am so chuffed. I can't believe that for the very first time ever I read the whole shortlist and made my own prediction. I 100% nailed it. Maybe I need to do it more often. Anyway, if you've watched my video, you know that I thought that the Safekeep was set to win this year's award, and it did, and totally deserved. Wonderful, wonderful book, and if you haven't read it yet, you have got to read it. And well, when it comes to non-fiction, honestly, I was crying watching the speech of the winning author. She delivered not just really touching, but also on point words, and especially the words about the world we currently live in, and that, you know, we shouldn't forget that it's the human kindness that matters the most, despite maybe the rhetoric or the politics of the very few men at the top. Just so powerful, and I am definitely reading this story of a heart. Or is it a story of the heart? The story of a heart, I think. Let me check, because I don't want to do it injustice. The story of a heart, and the author's name is Rachel Clark. So yes, looks like my non-fiction summer read is sorted. Thank you very much for watching. I will try and edit all the footage from today tonight so that it's ready for me to post first thing tomorrow morning, because as you know, I post my videos every Friday. And yes, what an exciting night. It also did make me reflect and think about what a great job Women's Prize for Fiction have been doing over the last 30 years. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.